Are you already a member of the senior community, or are you a soon-to-be? Then you won't want to miss the Art of Healthy Aging Forum and Expo taking place November 1st in Virginia Beach. Debbie Schwartz is Director of Development and Community Relations for Senior Services of Southeastern Virginia. Joining her are two experts in the fields of health and aging, Dr. Susan Giroir, Medical Director for GenCare Neighborhood Medical Centers, and Dr. Christiane Fowler, who's Assistant Professor at the ODU School of Nursing and the Glennon Center for Geriatrics and Gerontology at EVMS. So I think that says it all right there. We have a very interesting event coming up. And so, Debbie, tell us a little bit about the nuts and bolts of this event.
Okay,
so
the nuts and bolts are that this is a half-day event on Saturday, November 1st, as Jan said. We are bringing in a host of medical experts, professionals in the fields of geriatric and aging. We're bringing in Dr. Stefan Gravenstein, who used to be head of the Glennon Center and is now at Case Medical Center in Cleveland, Ohio. He's coming to talk about the art of healthy aging, which is the theme of the overall event. We've got speakers coming in. Our topics will be healthy sex, healthy brain, healthy caregiving, financial fitness. We've got people coming in to talk about a myriad of topics. The morning will be workshops. There'll be 2 sets of 4 concurrent workshop sessions, and people can choose what they'd like to go to. And then we will have a keynote luncheon speaker where Dr. Gravenstein will speak. And the newest aspect of this event is a salute to caregivers, and it is being sponsored by GenCare Neighborhood Medical Centers. And what we're doing is giving a shout out to caregivers in the community, family caregivers, professional caregivers, people who have caregivers in their lives, and asking them to submit a poignant story about the caregiving aspect in their lives. So if they're a caregiver, something that really touched them in what they do. If they are someone who has a caregiver in their lives, whether they're caring for a loved one or for themselves, tell us why these people are so special to you. And we're asking them to submit the stories. They can do it via our website. They can go to www.ssseva.org, click on the link to the Art of Healthy Aging, and there's information there on the what they need to submit, and they can actually do it online, or they can mail it to the agency, and the address is there.
Okay. Dr. Giroir, you are being with GenCare and supporting this and sponsoring this this particular aspect of the program. It's pretty significant. So caregiving alone is just something that is becoming the group of people that could claim to be members are growing. But caregiving is not just for people, adults caring for older adults. It can be across the board.
Absolutely. I mean, caregiving is the toughest job you'll ever love. It's also, we're a diverse group. It is a universal role, universal job. We have young folks who are caregivers, older folks who are caregivers, people who work, people who are not working. We have people with disabilities who are caregivers. It is every single culture, every race on this planet has caregivers, every community and every family. In fact, go home and look around and you'll be amazed at how many folks around you are caregivers. Now, caregiving is universal because it's about relationships. It's about people together who are helping each other. Now, a lot of us are caregivers by profession. At GenCare, we have an amazing set of physicians, nurse practitioners, medical assistants, and nurses who choose to do that as their profession. They are engaged in this relationship. They really want that to be what they do all day long, not only at work but when they go home, and especially with seniors, that's who their focus is. But then there are so many people in our community here and around the world who are volunteers, who give their time, their energy, their love, their passion to folks in need, maybe temporarily or even longer term, and certainly at the end of life, which is a really important time. But I want to really emphasize also the caregivers who find themselves in that role. It may not be a volunteer, it may not be a professional choice, but because of family, because of loved ones, because of friends or someone in the church, they find themselves in a caregiving role. It is tough, it's not for the faint-hearted, but those who do engage in that will find amazing satisfaction, and it's such a responsibility, but what a privilege for all of us.
It is a privilege, but it can really be a very big challenge for some people too. And Dr. Fowler, the idea of caregiving and taking care of yourself as well as others is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. At the program in November, we're going to be talking about healthy caregiving, and caregiving, just to sort of echo and build on what Dr. Jirwa has said. Caregiving can be a very rewarding experience, of course, but it's also very stressful. And so we're going to talk about some ways to try to help deal with that stress. Much of life is not without stress, but there's a way to kind of deal with it. And the comment that we in healthcare often give people that we're helping is, if you need to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to care for the person you're caring for. So it's a message that we constantly try to give. And so hopefully we'll be able to provide some good information that'll be able to help these caregivers continue in that role.
Okay,
so.
Thank you. Well, we're running short on time, but I just want to say that that's a very important point, and you will get some very good guidance and practical advice based on experience that seems to be growing every day. So this event, again, is the 1st of November.
It's the 1st of November. You can get all of the information for registering online.
Okay.
The deadline for submitting caregiver stories is October 15th, because we will have a panel that will be judging the 2 most poignant, 1 professional, 1 family caregiver, and then we are going to actually recognize those 2 caregivers on site and ask all of the caregivers in the audience to stand and be recommended.
Oh, that's just wonderful. So wonderful focus on caregiving and healthy living and caregiving too. Thank you for taking some time out of your very busy schedules to do this.
Thanks
I
for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
All right, and we hope you'll make the event on November 1st, the Virginia Beach Convention Center, the Art of Healthy Aging. And thank you for joining us. See you again next time. Bye.